welcome to this lesson about Shackleton. Very interesting lesson, this. One of my favourite lessons, this, to be honest. I really like this lesson, which is why I've chosen to make a video about it. So this is Unit 3, which is People, and the person is Shackleton, this famous British explorer. So the first thing that we should do is we should do the quiz. Yeah. So you can find this on your Schoology page. This is available for you to do. Let me just open it. Let me try to open it. So here, listen to this audio and then try to answer the questions. Multiple choice. Yeah, and this will help us when we come to listen. Yeah. So listen and then answer the questions. How many questions? Okay, so 14 multiple choice questions. And then here, we don't need to do this. I mean, you don't need to write the answers here. But find some interesting facts about his journey. Okay, about Ernest Shackleton. His ship was called the Endurance. So use Google to find some interesting facts about him and his journey, and just make a note of them. Okay, you don't need to write them here. You can if you want to, but you don't need to. But anything that we can learn about this guy before we start listening will help us when we come to listen. Okay, so do the quiz, use Google to learn a little bit about Ernest Shackleton, and then we will continue. Okay. Right, okay, what I want you to do now, before we watch the lecture, I'm going to read you some dates. Yeah, and I just want you to listen, and I want you to write down what I say. Okay, I want you to write down the dates that I give you. Yeah. So find a blank piece of paper, get a pen, just listen to me, and write down the dates that I read you. Okay, try not to look at your screen. Yeah. So the first date, October 2nd, 1914. Yeah, don't look at the screen and just write these down. October 2nd, 1914. Number 2, January 1915. Number 3, 10 months. Number 4, for nearly 5 days. For nearly 5 days. Number 5, less than a week. Less than a week. And the last one, more than 3 hours. Yeah, more than 3 hours. Okay, so you can have a look here now. You can check your answers here. Because today we're going to be needing to write down lots of dates and lots of time phrases. Yeah, so October 2nd, 1914, January 1915, 10 months. Maybe we just want to write this as 10M or 10mon or something like that in a lecture, just to save a little bit of time. For nearly 5 days. For nearly. How would we write that for nearly? So not quite 5 days, just a little bit less than 5 days. Less than a week. So we can do that, less than a week. Yeah. And more than 3 hours. More than 3 hours. Yeah. So there are ways that we can shorten some of this when we come to write it down when we are listening. Right, okay, now let's head over to our workbook. So around page 24, watch the lecture and complete the notes, okay? So if you did the pre-task and you Googled about Ernest Shackleton and about his ship, the Endurance, you will already have a bit of this knowledge up here. If you didn't do that, then this will be a bit more difficult for you. The lecture we can find, let me show you. The lecture is on your course page. Let me show you the file. And this is the file, Shackleton, 6 minutes 23 seconds.m4v. Okay. So watch the lecture, watch it 2 times, watch it 3 times, watch it as many times as you need. Okay, you've got a basic template here. Watch it, complete the notes. Okay, so what happened first in 2014? What happened second? Add as much detail as you can. If you need to watch it a second time or a third time, watch it again and again. Okay, this is quite an interesting lecture. Like I say, it's one of my favourites. 1914. 1915, 1916, yeah? And there's space for you to write all of your key details here. So watch the lecture, try to complete the notes. There will be questions after the lecture, okay? So the better the notes are, the more useful they will be when we come to answer these questions here, okay? So like I say, watch once, watch twice, watch 3 times, pause this video on YouTube, head over to Schoology, watch this video yourself, come back and we will check our answers together. Okay. Right, so close some of this that I don't need. Let's get the tape script up. This tape script is also on your Schoology page. So, left London, the 1st of August 1914. Okay, so the 1st of August 1914, entered the Antarctic Circle and became stuck. Okay, right, hang on. Right, so let's have a look at these together then. So the Endurance left England on the 1st of August 1914. Okay, right, fine. In January 1915, they entered the Arctic Circle. They soon became stuck. So we can assume that the same month they became stuck. How many months until spring begins? They'd have to wait 10 months until November, which is springtime, okay, because it's southern hemisphere. So 10 months. Shackleton ordered his crew off the ship. October 1915, he ordered everyone to move off the ship and onto the ice. Wow, October 1915 here. The Endurance sank. When did it sink? November 21st, 1915, the Endurance fell apart and sank into the water. Yeah? November 21st. Right, the ice began to melt. With the arrival of summer, March 1916. So here, March 1916. The crew travelled to small boats on Elephant Island. When was that? The crew travelled in April. So in April 1916, they got into their boats and they travelled to Elephant Island. So how many days did it take them to sail to the whaling station? After 17 days. Okay, so 17 days. They made it to South Georgia. How many hours did it take them to walk across the island? They had to walk for 36 hours. Yeah, for 36 hours. Shackleton rescued all of his men from Elephant Island. He tried for 4 months. And then here, on August 30th, 1916, yeah, he rescued his men. They had all survived. Okay, so not very straightforward. If we needed to listen twice or 3 times, then that's what we need to do. Now let's go ahead and try to answer these questions. What was Shackleton's goal in Antarctica? His goal was to lead the first group to cross Antarctica on foot. Okay, to cross Antarctica. How many people were in his boat? 28. How long did they expect to wait for the ice to melt? They expected to wait 10 months. They expected they would have to wait 10 months. So from January to November, 10 months. What happened in October 1915? October 1915, the ship, the Endurance, sank. Yes, it got crushed by the ice. How long did it take them to get from the ice to Elephant Island? So from the ice to Elephant Island, it took them 7 days. 7 days to get from the ice to Elephant Island. They finally made it to Elephant Island. It had been 467 days since they had stood on land, but that's not the answer. It took them 7 days to get from the ice to Elephant Island. Where did Shackleton go after Elephant Island? He went to the whaling station on South Georgia. 800 miles to get help. How many of his crew survived? They all survived. And what is he famous for? He's famous for keeping his promise. He's famous for not reaching his goal. He didn't reach his goal. He's famous for leading his men through some of the worst conditions in the world. And like I say, for keeping his promise and for bringing them home alive. Okay, that's why he's famous. Okay, very interesting lecture, very interesting man, very interesting story. Yeah. We're almost finished, but before we're finished, we've got some dictation to do. So head over to your Schoology page, play this audio, listen, write down exactly what you hear, then come back here to this video and I will give you the answers. Okay. Okay, and here are your answers. But today I'm going to tell you the story. In fact, everything went horribly wrong, so everyone shared the jobs on the ship. They believed in him. No one knew where they were. He'd kept his promise to them. Okay, so if you got most of that correct, very good. Be careful with your spelling. Okay, spelling is important in the assessments. Yeah, so if you made some spelling mistakes, revisit those and try to better understand why you made those mistakes and what to do to not make those mistakes in the future. Okay, so that's all about Shackleton. In the next lesson with your teacher, you might be doing some test practice all about an interview. Okay. Alright, please like this video. If you have any questions or any comments, leave those in the comment video here on YouTube. Okay, bye bye.